Every night you close your eyes and your body stays in bed. But where does your mind go? Why do some dreams feel more real than waking life? Why do people experience the same dreams, sometimes on the same night? And what about the chilling phenomenon of sleep paralysis, where shadowy figures appear and you can't move? Science tells us that sleep is just the brain recharging. But if that's true, why do some people dream of the future? Why do others wake up with knowledge they've never learned? And why do ancient traditions, from Tibetan monks to Egyptian mystics, believe that sleep is actually a gateway to other realms? Tonight, as you sleep, your mind will enter a world that defies logic, a place where time warps, reality bends, and the impossible becomes real. The question is, what if it's not just a dream? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will change the way you think about sleep forever. Most people assume sleep is when the brain powers down, like a computer going into sleep mode. But in reality, the opposite happens. During REM sleep, the phase where dreams occur, your brain's activity actually increases. Your visual cortex, the part responsible for seeing, begins generating entire landscapes, people, and conversations. Your emotional centers become hyperactive, which is why dreams feel so intense, so vivid, sometimes even terrifying. But here's where it gets even stranger. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for logic and reasoning, actually shuts off. That's why dreams feel unpredictable, like they follow a different set of rules. Could this mean that when we dream, we are experiencing a completely different reality? One that operates beyond the physical laws we know? Every night, your mind creates entire worlds, places you've never been, people you've never met, and sometimes events that haven't even happened yet. But if dreams are just random brain activity, how do we explain precognitive dreams, dreams that predict the future? Abraham Lincoln dreamed of his own assassination days before it happened. Thousands of people have reported dreams of major disasters before they occurred. Plane crashes, earthquakes, even the events of 9/11. Science calls this coincidence. But how many coincidences does it take before we start questioning the nature of time itself? Some researchers believe that during sleep, the mind temporarily steps outside of time, accessing moments that haven't happened yet. If that's true, then what does that say about the reality we live in? Ancient civilizations believed that dreams weren't just illusions, they were journeys. The Egyptians saw them as messages from the gods. Tibetan monks practiced dream yoga, believing that dream states could be used to navigate the afterlife. And even today, indigenous shamans use dreams to access hidden knowledge. But modern science is starting to catch up. Institutions like the Monroe Institute have studied out-of-body experiences for decades. People report floating above their sleeping bodies, visiting real-world locations, and even interacting with entities that seem independent of their own minds. And here's the real mystery. Some people experience shared dreams. Two or more people on the same night, dreaming of the same event, the same place, or the same people. How is that possible? Could it be that when we sleep, we are tapping into a collective consciousness, one that exists beyond space and time? There is a moment, just a fraction of a second, where you are neither awake nor asleep, a space between two worlds. In this moment, something happens, something most people never notice. Your body fades, your surroundings dissolve, and your mind begins to drift. But where does it go? Some call this the threshold of consciousness, the point where reality begins to unravel. It's in this state that people report experiencing out-of-body sensations, floating above their sleeping bodies, or even hearing voices whispering from an unseen realm. Some describe it as peaceful, others as something far more unsettling. Many who experience sleep paralysis say it begins here, right at the edge of sleep. 1 second, they're drifting off, the next, they're trapped, frozen in place, fully aware but unable to move. And then they see them. The shadow figures, the dark silhouette standing at the edge of their vision, watching, waiting. But here's where it gets even stranger. Some researchers believe that what we call sleep paralysis may not be a glitch, but a moment where the mind perceives something it was never meant to see. What if, during this transition, we aren't just dreaming, but briefly glimpsing another layer of reality? The real question is, are these experiences just tricks of the brain? Or is there something far more mysterious happening when we close our eyes? Imagine this. You wake up in the middle of the night, your eyes are open. You can hear the world around you, but there's one problem. You can't move. You try to scream, but nothing comes out. And then you feel it, a presence watching you, moving closer. A shadow standing in the corner of your room. Millions of people have reported this same experience. But here's the terrifying part. Why do they all describe seeing the same dark figures? Science claims sleep paralysis is just a neurological malfunction, a glitch between wakefulness and sleep. But if that's true, then why are the hallucinations identical across different cultures, beliefs, and backgrounds? Some believe sleep paralysis is a moment where we wake up too soon, while our consciousness is still elsewhere. But if that's true, then what exactly are we seeing? But what if instead of being lost in a dream, you could wake up inside it? What if you could recognize that you're dreaming, and in that instant gain full control over everything around you? Imagine bending the dream world to your will, flying over entire cities, visiting impossible landscapes, meeting people who shouldn't exist, or even stepping into a dream that doesn't feel like a dream at all. This phenomenon is called lucid dreaming, and it's something anyone can learn. In a lucid dream, you aren't just watching the story unfold, you are the creator. You can alter reality in an instant, change the environment, and even manipulate time. But here's where it gets terrifying. Some lucid dreamers report encounters with entities that seem to have their own intelligence, beings that act independently as if they are aware that the dreamer is there. Some even claim that these beings try to stop them from gaining control, and that raises an unsettling question. If dreams are just creations of the mind, then who are these beings? Why do lucid dreamers across the world describe meeting the same shadowy figures, the same glowing-eyed watchers, or even the same mysterious guides who offer them knowledge? Could it be that lucid dreaming isn't just controlling a dream, but actually accessing another plane of existence? And then, there's the most mind-bending idea of all. What if mastering lucid dreaming is just the first step? What if the more control you gain over your dreams, the more control you could have over waking reality? Some believe that lucid dreaming is proof that reality itself is just another level of the dream. If we can manipulate the dream world at will, what's stopping us from doing the same in waking life? Have you ever had a lucid dream? If so, what did you do? Who or what did you meet? Drop a comment below, because your story might be more important than you think. Have you ever had a dream so vivid, so detailed, that it felt like you weren't just imagining it, you were remembering it? A place you had never been, yet somehow you knew your way around? Faces that were unfamiliar, but in the dream, you had known them for years? Some people experience recurring dreams of the same unknown places, like they are living a second life in their sleep. Others have dreams that pick up exactly where they left off the night before, as if time is progressing in a reality separate from their waking life. But here's where it gets really strange. Some dreamers have described entire lifetimes in their sleep, years spent in a dream, only to wake up and realize that no time has passed at all. They recall the details of entire other lives, families, careers, relationships, only to wake up back in this world, as if it were all erased. And if that's not bizarre enough, consider this. Some people claim they have shared dreams with others. 2 or more people who wake up describing the exact same dream, with the same locations, the same conversations, and sometimes the same entities. If dreams were just a function of the brain, then how is this possible? Could it be that our dreams aren't just figments of the imagination, but windows into parallel versions of ourselves? The multiverse theory, one of the most mind-blowing ideas in modern physics, suggests that infinite versions of reality exist simultaneously. That for every decision we make, there is another version of us living out a different path. If that's true, then maybe, when we dream, we aren't just imagining. Maybe we're actually glimpsing alternate timelines, alternate versions of ourselves, living alternate lives in alternate dimensions. And that raises a terrifying thought. What if this reality is just one of many? What if right now another version of you is asleep in another world, dreaming about this life? So tell me, have you ever had a dream so real that it felt like it wasn't just a dream? Have you ever woken up with memories of a life that wasn't yours? Share your experience in the comments, because we may be closer to the truth than we realize. There is a secret that some of the greatest minds in history knew about sleep, one that allowed them to access impossible knowledge, unlock limitless creativity, and even find solutions to problems before their conscious mind could figure them out. Nikola Tesla, Salvador Dali, Thomas Edison. They all used a technique so powerful that it bordered on the supernatural. It's called hypnagogic sleep, a phase between wakefulness and dreaming where the mind enters an altered state of perception. In this state, reality itself seems to shift. Flashes of images, deep insights, even entire ideas appear out of nowhere. And if you can stay in this state long enough, you can access something beyond normal consciousness. Here's how it works. Tesla and Edison would hold a small object in their hands, like a metal ball or a key, and as they drifted toward sleep, their grip would loosen. The object would drop, waking them up at the perfect moment, allowing them to pull ideas directly from the hypnagogic state into the waking world. But here's where it gets truly bizarre. Some believe this technique does more than just enhance creativity. Some believe it allows us to tap into a collective field of knowledge, what mystics have long called the Akashic Records, a supposed universal database where all knowledge, past, present, and future, already exists. If this is true, then maybe the mind isn't just generating thoughts, maybe it's tuning in to something greater. Maybe our consciousness, when free from the distractions of the waking world, has the ability to access knowledge beyond time and space. And you don't need metal balls or keys to do it. Tonight, before you sleep, try this. Set an intention. A question you need answered, a problem you need solved. Hold that thought as you drift off. And when you wake up, write down everything, no matter how strange or meaningless it seems. Because buried in those fragments might be the answer you've been looking for. So tell me, have you ever woken up with a thought, an idea, or an insight that felt like it came from somewhere else? If so, what if it wasn't just your imagination? What if it was something much bigger? So now we must ask the ultimate question. Is sleep just a function of biology? Or is it something much greater, a hidden doorway into the unknown? We've explored dreams that predict the future, shadow figures that appear in sleep paralysis, lucid dreamers encountering mysterious entities, and the possibility that we are glimpsing parallel lives while we sleep. But the truth is, we have only scratched the surface. I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a dream that felt too real to ignore? A vision, a premonition, or an encounter you couldn't explain? Drop a comment below, because together we are uncovering something far greater than we've been told. And if you're ready to unlock the full power of your mind, subscribe to Inner Alchemy. Because this is just the beginning. This is Inner Alchemy. Welcome to the unknown.